Mountain Dew flavor?
So before I tasted, what was it? It was Baja Blast. It was there was a
Whoa, hold up. I just caught something. You said before you tasted Baja Blast. Do you
Yeah.
actually consider Baja Blast to be a good flavor?
I actually like it.
No.
You don't like Baja
No.
Blast?
I mean, I do, but I just don't consider it in the top 3.
That's fair. No. But there was like a Mountain Dew Pitch Black. That I
Yes.
liked, which
Yes.
was like, it had like, I think it was like Mountain Dew mixed with like grape soda.
It was something weird.
Yeah.
They never say anything.
And it was really good. I love it.
Pitch
a
Black
lot.
is my all-time favorite one.
Yeah.
I just wait. Like, that's the thing, is that when Mountain Dew comes out with a flavor, that's like Christmas time for me.
Yeah.
Like, you have to find out where it's at. Right now they have the Liberty flavored one.
I've tried that. It's
I like it. It's just a mixture of like the White Glacier one, the Code Red, and then the Blue Voltage or whatever. That's what
Yeah.
I've heard there's a mixture of. So I'm like, okay. Pitch Black is my favorite. And then there was one that came out on Halloween called Voodoo.
I don't
Or
think I had
Voodoo
that.
flavor.
Oh, maybe I did.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I'm
it
trying
was
to
like-
remember if I had that or
So
not.
there's a can out there. I have one unopened on the shelf of my bar. Like, I just kept it there because
Yeah,
it's
just
that
there,
good.
yeah.
And I remember when they announced it, I tweeted to them. I hope I can find. Maybe I can find it. I hopefully I can.
Yeah.
I tweeted it, and I'm just like, bet your ass that it's probably candy corn flavor. And then when they revealed it, it was candy corn flavor.
Oh.
That's how much I know. That's how much I know about Mountain Dew.
Mountain
I already
Dew.
know.
So what's your favorite then, like, if you had to go top 3 favorite Mountain Dew flavors?
Pitch Black, regular, and then probably. I feel like anyone that says Code Red is just kind of dumb. Like, they don't know what actual Mountain Dew tastes like.
It's just Mountain Dew with cherry. That's
Yeah. Let me think. It's Code Red, regular. Regular would probably be 3.
it. Mhm.
Blue Voltage was not bad.
It was tasty when it came out. There was another one that I liked when they were doing the 3. There was like Voltage, Supernova.
The Christmas one.
What was the Christmas one?
I forget the name of it, but it was like a cherry flavored ish kind of one.
Uh-huh.
Like, you know how like Sprite has the Sprite. What is
Oh,
it called?
cranberry?
Cranberry Sprite. I
Yeah.
think it was like that. It was like a
Oh,
cranberry flavored Mountain Dew or something.
Ooh.
That one was pretty good.
That doesn't sound half bad.
I mean, just wait till Christmas time. They'll probably redo it again or something like
That's
that. Or maybe for October they'll redo the whole voodoo thing, and you have a second chance of getting it. The mystery
Probably,
flavored.
yeah.
They're like, yeah, it's candy corn flavored, guys. I'm
Candy
just gonna
corn
announce it.
flavored.
You're already recording, so I know you already
I've
are.
been recording since we started. What was your favorite Mountain Dew flavor?
So before we start, I know you got a story to tell me.
Yes, before we start, I had a story to tell you and the listeners here, because everyone that knows me, or if you guys have listened and you don't know yet, I work here at Undercity Comics. And, you know, I work here in Undercity Comics in the colorful town of people here in Uptown Whittier, you know.
Whittier, California.
Whittier, California.
Our
And-
recording headquarters.
Yes. And once in a while, we get some very interesting people that are not, don't have a home per se.
That's one way of putting it, all right?
Yeah. I'm trying not to be mean. But the thing is it happens here. I guess, you know, but it happens everywhere. But here, you know, I just feel like I had to tell this story. So on Wednesday here, it's New Comic Book Day. And I get a bunch of people coming in and stuff like that. And then I had one particular character that came in. Mind you, he didn't look like he was raggedy. Didn't look like he was dirty. He just looked like comfortable, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But I should have known because he had like dark sun skin, you know, like he was out in the sun all day.
Okay.
And he came in, he had a beard, long hair and stuff like that. And he's like, he goes, where are your comics that are based off all the movies? And I'm like, well, you know, they're all here, you know, there, here, there, here, and there. This is that, this is that. I told him. And he's all like, oh, okay. Well, you know what, man? I don't want to, you know, frighten you or anything, but I'm Jesus Christ.
Oh, okay.
And so then I'm like, oh, and in my head, and I'm like, oh,
Strike one. Strike one.
it's gonna be one of those days. So in my head. And so then, you know, he's talking and he's all like, yeah, I'm Jesus Christ, you know.
I don't want to alarm you. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Right? And he goes like, and he tells me, and he goes, don't worry. And don't worry, you're going to go to heaven. You're not going to hell because you're going to heaven because you have to deal with all this stuff and stuff like that. I'm like, oh, thank you. I'm all, thank you. Okay. And and he's all like, talking about Batman and how Batman's like, could be Jesus Christ as well too. And I'm just like, and then he starts talking about, the Jedi are my messiahs.
And he's not wrong. He's not.
And he's now. This is the part where I was like, "Oh, this isn't fun anymore." When he says, "And the Sith are the Jews." I was like,
"What?"
And I'm like,
oh. "Wait, how do you draw that line of comparison?"
Right?
Like even okay, like forget the offensive part of that statement. Like let's forget about the offensive part of it.
But think about what he's trying to connect.
Yeah, like there's.
I mean,
like that's a pure hatred comment right there.
That's a thing.
Because there was no effort to make any connection.
No.
Wow.
I was like, yeah. And so then I was like, so I had to ask him to leave, and he did. He did it peacefully. He did it. He wasn't putting up a fight or anything. He was like, okay, yeah, no problem. And he goes, Jesus Christ loves you, everyone. And then and there were people in the store, not a lot, but just like my regulars. They weren't, scared or anything like that, but I knew that after that he had to go.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, come on, let's go. And he did, and he walked away. That was Wednesday. He came in today. So he's recording here on Sunday because we record on Sundays here. He came in on Sunday this week, and I had a customer in here, luckily, just one customer, and I was ringing her up and stuff like that, and he comes in and starts quoting a line from The Crow, and I'm like, but I'm already telling him, please go. Please leave. You were in here last time. I didn't like it. Please go. And he's all like, did you hear about a guy named T-Bird? He had a friend that shouldn't have played with knives. And he just walks away. And I'm like, thinking in my head, I'm like, did you just quote The Crow? I was like,
do you remember the quote?
Yeah, that's what he said. He goes, do you know a guy named T-Bird? He had a friend that shouldn't have played with knives. And he just walks away. That was the part where basically, remember in the movie The Crow where
that's why I'm just trying to.
He takes on the guy with the knives and stuff like that, and then that was it Ernie Hudson's character, the policeman, finds him like in the corner.
Dude, that's creepy.
Yeah.
See, okay, you told me like the Sparks Note version before we started recording.
Yeah.
But now that I know what he said offensively, and then the quote that was said, that's some creepy stuff, dude.
Yeah. I don't know. It's weird.
Lock the doors, man.
I'm not keeping the doors locked from now on and stuff. But
right now, outside the store, he's gonna be like this, like face
right
printed on the thing,
just staring.
So if we go silent, you already know what we're looking at.
Oh God. I just hope he doesn't come back and see the store closed and starts doing something to the window.
I don't think so, man. I mean, even if he does look, it's like, I mean, what can he do? You know? So whatever. Right. That was an interesting story.
That was my week here. So.
Buddy, October isn't for another 2 months.
I know. Oh, man.
That is weird, dude. I mean, yeah, you run into your weird stuff, but like I think that was just kind of like once you're in those things, like actually experiencing it, now you start to like wonder, like, oh shit, like,
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's a way to start this episode.
Right? All right,
I entered the episode.
Yes.
So, if you'd like,
here
Renee, go for it.
Hello, Internet. Welcome to Keeping Up with the Nerds Variety Hour, coming to you from 12920 Philadelphia Street, Whittier, California, aiming to be Whittier's #1 podcast of all things nerdy. I'm your host, Rene.
And Bryan.
Yes, there we go. The more we do it, the cleaner it gets. And I'll tell you this, there was a little bit of a hiccup towards the end, but I think it's because you went through it a little bit faster. You're like, I got it. I'm almost there. I
got too confident with myself.
No, but you know what? This is good. We're on episode 9, issue 9, issue. God, I got to keep saying issue.
I know.
Issue 9.
Issue 9, yes.
Of the podcast, meaning that we've been doing this for well over 2 months at this point.
Wow.
Yes, we have been doing this for 2 months.
It does not feel like that.
It does not. It literally feels like, we've only been doing this for quite some, not even that long. Because on my stuff, I was kind of I'm revamping pretty much my entire YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And pretty much what I'm going to do with my own like projects and stuff like that. So I didn't upload anything this last Friday.
I noticed that. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just kind of like, you know what? I gotta redo this whole thing. But then I looked back and I had 14 episodes of my podcast, meaning that if I did one every week, I would have already done about 3 months.
Wow.
No, 4 weeks at 12 is 3 months. Yeah. So about 3.5 months, almost 4 months of stuff.
That's pretty
consecutively.
Good. Wow, man.
So it's like, oh shoot, you don't even notice how quickly time goes by until you actually look back and go like, oh, all right. 9 issues in, I think we've been doing a pretty good job.
Yeah.
Still on this whole pattern about figuring out topics day of.
The thing, I know, so, guys. If you don't, guys, we literally this episode we had nothing until we started talking about it today.
Well, this is a slow week. I mean, to be fair, we just had Comic-Con end last week. Yeah. Did you pay attention before we go on with this topic? Yeah. Did you pay attention to the reception that it got from people?
Yeah.
It didn't work out. And you know what? We pretty much said why it didn't work out. Because it wasn't advertised correctly.
It wasn't advertised correctly.
So we were right.
Oh, another thing. I had a random customer come in and said he enjoyed the podcast.
Another one?
Another one.
Another one.
Yes, another one. But this was a customer that comes in rarely, but apparently follows me on Instagram and then said that he just got to the Star Wars episodes right now. He listens to it on his way to work, he says. And I was like, oh.
Another warm feeling in my heart, man.
I know. So thank you, guys. We want to hear more feedback. We want to hear that people are listening and stuff like that. So that way Brian feels good.
Yeah, but you too, man. Come on.
I know.
Well, to me, Brian needs to feel good. Renee, you too, man. Don't even lie. You smile every time someone says this.
No, I do. That's the thing. It's just it's an awesome feeling, and it's also a weird feeling just to know that
people are listening,
and
it's a great thing. Yeah,
people, and they want to tell us what they how they feel about it and stuff.
It's you know what I think. Have we actually talked about why we wanted to do this and like how we wanted to aim?
Well,
like what we were aiming
for.
Yeah,
we discussed. You and I have discussed what we want to do with this podcast, but I don't think we discussed individually what motivated us to do a said podcast.
I think the motivation just simply came from the fact that we would spend almost an hour and a half talking every time we went to pick up comic books at the store.
Every time you come in, yeah.
And so you had a craving to make a podcast, and I'm like, dude, we already spent about an hour talking, and it's just random stuff, and this happens like maybe every 2 Wednesdays, to like every month. Yeah. Why don't we just make a podcast out of this and just have conversations?
And people have told, I mean, like, this is nothing to, like, boasting about myself, but people have always told me that they like my voice. They want to hear what my thoughts are and stuff. And sometimes I don't want to talk about it with, like, every single person that comes in,
Yeah.
Like, I just, like, it's good, it's good. Because I hate repeating myself, that's why.
Yeah.
So I feel like, if people want to hear my opinion or an outlet, or some sort of outlet, why not do a podcast?
Why not do something that they can listen to and then comment and tell us about what they've what they've heard and pretty much give their own take. It makes sense.
Yeah,
it makes sense.
And and having you on the show is really great because I can bounce off of you pretty good. You could bounce off of me pretty good.
We work together. Yeah. It's like that. What was it last week? Someone came in and said that they thought we were high school friends.
Yeah, like long-term friends.
Yeah, we've been friends for what? Almost over 5 years at this point.
Since the store's been open. Yeah.
Yeah, so over 5 years, but we just kind of bounced off each other pretty easily just because of the things that we talk about.
Yeah, you and I have a lot of stuff in common, and then also the stuff that we don't agree on. It's not like we hate each other over.
No,
it's just
no.
Like,
I mean, you're a Batman fan and I'm a Spider-Man fan.
That's another thing.
We don't mix. We shouldn't mix.
Yeah, that's your favorite superhero, Spider-Man. My favorite superhero is Batman. But again, we also like the in-between stuff. Like, we also have a lot in common in between. Like, we both like Avengers. We both like Justice League and stuff like that.
We know. We know this stuff. It's interesting. And honestly, I think where we really want to be with this podcast in the future is I think it's just kind of being consistent with it and making episodes and just, I think we talked about this, on our own probably like about a month ago where we said that we kind of want to aim and bring on. The aim is to someday bring on, like, not a big name, but, someone.
Yeah.
And probably have an interview with them, someone in the comic book industry.
Yeah.
Get some different takes on it. Because it's one thing to just, for us to talk about this sorts of stuff,
Yeah.
Like, we can give our opinions and takes. Like, last week, we said that Comic-Con didn't have proper advertisement. And what came out this year.
Look what that happened.
Yeah. So we were kind of right. But, it'd be interesting to get other people to come on and have the their take on it and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So I think that's where we want to go. And we specifically said that we want to be Whittier's #1 podcast.
Yes, trying to be Whittier's #1 nerdy podcast.
Yeah. I mean, it's good. It's what the Justice League has. What's their base called? I am going to get killed for this.
The Hall of Justice.
The Hall of Justice.
Yeah,
and
the Hall of Justice or Watchtower.
The Watchtower. That's the one in space. I was like, it's in Justice League Doom. I know this.
Yeah, they've transferred a lot of stuff from place to place with Avengers as well too. They had the Avengers Tower, Avengers Mansion
in New York City, and that one got destroyed.
Yeah,
and then now it's like
now it's in the valley of like New Jersey. Or
I always thought it was like in California or something.
No,
it looks like it.
It's always been around New York or the area of that is New York City.
Around that area ish.
But they just went into like the inland part of it, and had the Avengers Mansion.
When you introduce someone like Tony Stark in the movies, you lose sight of where people are because in the first one he was in Malibu,
yeah,
and then he went over to New York.
He lives in New York,
and
now.
then he like had different places. He was even in wasn't he in like Randy's Donuts or something like that in the second movie?
Oh yeah,
when he was like dying or something. Was it the second or the third one?
Yeah,
yeah.
And the third one, it was in. Then he was in Malibu, but then went to what else? He landed somewhere after he got attacked in Malibu. What was the state? And then he went to Florida after that too.
So where's their headquarters, man?
Tony! Where are your bases?
We have our headquarters in Whittier.
Yeah.
You know what? So that's
Whittier,
our headquarters will be here.
This is our sanctum.
Yeah, exactly. So we're not going to call it our secret headquarters because we literally give out the address.
Yeah. Oh God!
So if the Legion of Doom wants to come by,
or have the what is it the Mandarin come and attack us?
Oh, but man! And then we get our own movie.
We get our own movie. Yeah.
Heck yeah, dude! That'd be a good topic to bring up. Who would play us in our own live action movie?
Oh man!
I don't have any. I would need to think about it. It's too early to ask that question.
I'm trying to think of a young chubby actor right now for me. I would say Jonah Hill, but he's gotten older.
Hey, you know what? Christian Bale can keep losing weight and gaining it back. So you know what? If the money is right, I think Jonah Hill could do it.
Jonah Hill could do it.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Jonah Hill would be an interesting character. He's a good actor too.
Yeah, he is.
And in tangent with this topic about making your own movies, Rene, I pose a question to you, my good sir.
Yes.
So I know you opened up this podcast. You're the one hosting it, but I'm going to ask you a couple questions. All right. So, are you an avid movie watcher, TV show watcher?
Yes.
Okay. Well, then you know that the nominees for the Emmys recently came out this week.
I did.
Yes. And did anything come up that shocked you a little bit or that interested you?
One was obviously The Mandalorian.
With 15 nominations.
Yeah.
And then the second one that swept the nominations?
Was it Watchmen?
It was Watchmen with 26. They have the most nominations out of both.
Yeah.
Okay. So the reason I bring this up is because when I saw that, it was pretty much big news. Yeah. I found out through Rotten Tomatoes, through the Rotten Tomatoes Facebook page.
Yeah.
And, okay, fine. Nominations are nominations. They don't mean pretty much anything until you win. You could pretty much say, oh, yeah, like an Emmy-nominated show or whatever, Emmy-nominated actor. You can say all those different things. They don't mean anything until you pretty much win the award.
Yeah.
But the reception of The Mandalorian, having 15 different nominations, struck a chord with people.
Really?
Not in a good way.
Oh, wow.
So a lot of people on the comment section of the Rotten Tomato post were pretty much arguing over the fact that they didn't believe that The Mandalorian deserved 15 nominations.
Really?
Mainly because the big one that it was on was Best Drama Series. Okay, so let me tell you this. This is I'll go ahead and start this off with this way. Okay, so there were out of the top, I think it was like in the top 5 or 6 that The Mandalorian was in, with 15 nominations and Watchmen having 26. So The Mandalorian's biggest one was Best Drama Series. That's the one that it had like the biggest hit on. Like, why are you on there? You're competing with things like The Handmaid's Tale. That's like a big one that's on there as well. The Crown is another one that's on there. Okay. So now you see why there's a bunch of like,
I see where it could come from,
Okay, but then tell me why there's this big argument about The Mandalorian being on there if Stranger Things season 3 is also on there.
That's completely,
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no.
So for me, it's kind of like, okay, so this argument doesn't make sense with certain people. Like, why are you trying to fight over the fact that The Mandalorian does not deserve 15 of these nominations? So I did some research and I pretty much tried to see what else it was being nominated for. On that list, it got nominated for Best drama, which I already said was in ties with Stranger Things season 3 as well.
Mm-hmm.
Best actor, Giancarlo Espinato.
Mm-hmm.
And there were other ones in there. There was another one in there that was also including. Let me see. Let me pull up this link real quick. Do you want me to name all 15 nominations? They're pretty much listed right here.
Just the big ones, if anything.
Outstanding drama series. Outstanding children's programming. I didn't even know that was
That's
on
a
there.
thing?
Yeah. Oh, I was looking at the list for the Emmy nominations. There's some pretty weird ones. Like there's like best commercial.
No.
Yes, there is. Like I forgot. Like yes, like it makes sense because you do realize that like with like for example Grammys and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
There's like certain things that happen in the background, like certain awards that aren't given on screen. You know, I could imagine this would probably be the same thing for like the Emmys. So there's things like best commercial on there. Outstanding character voiceover performance, outstanding guest actor in drama series, which was Giancarlo Espinato.
Okay.
Outstanding production design for a narrative program. Outstanding cinematography for a single camera, outstanding fantasy and sci-fi costumes.
See, now I see why certain shows, when like they say nominated for 16, 17
there are
Emmys,
all these different
it's
ones.
all these like little particular kind of things that they are nominated for. Okay.
But you can take like the big ones on there. So the drama series is like the big one. Because when you think of like a drama series nomination, you think of like, again, The Handmaid's Tale or The Crown, like these shows that put in tons of effort into being an intensive drama.
So I guess then like... this would be my first question. What declares to be a drama series for a TV show then? Like, what are the particular requirements to be classified as a drama?
Oh, see, that's a heavy question.
That is.
Because there could be a lot of different things that could be considered a drama. What considers Stranger Things to be a drama?
That's another thing. I think because...
you can also classify that as a thriller.
Yeah, that's a thriller.
You can also classify that as...
is there a sci-fi? Like,
sci-fi costume on there. That's what they got nominated for.
But not for like a sci-fi
no.
series.
No.
Not for and I think that's the problem. If because when it comes to best TV series, the only thing that can be classified as that is best drama series. And that's about it, because there's no other ones. Is there best action series?
No.
Is there
because I think those are genres, not like heavy like categories and stuff
that's
like that.
That's what I'm saying.
Because there's like comedy and drama. What else is there? Crap.
There's scary, or isn't there horror?
No, I don't think there's anything like that.
Not best
I
horror
think it's
series?
mainly like drama or comedy
suspense,
that's on there.
Suspense series?
That would probably be considered under drama as well.
See, that's the thing. There's not a lot of spread out
subcategories and stuff
subcategories, like so it has no choice to be part of a drama. But at the same time, The Mandalorian can be classified. It is strongly classified as a drama series. Take out the sci-fi aspect. Let's take it out. Let's take out the whole that it's Star Wars, and we have a plot where there's a bounty hunter just, on taking a job and finds a baby.
You answered your own question last week.
Yeah.
What did Jon Favreau say this he was trying to aim this to be?
Yeah, a Western.
A Western.
Yeah.
So, because I was asking my girlfriend this because she's watching Dead to Me on Netflix, and Dead to Me got nominated.
I hear that's pretty good.
Yeah, I was watching it, and like I was listening in the background.
I hear season 1 was good, and then I hear season 2 kind of takes a dive.
Season 2 is nominated for best comedy.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I was listening to it, and I was just like, I already know how this is probably going to end.
And it happens?
No, because they're still going on. I think they might be doing a season 3. But like the way that it's going, I can kind of already tell where the series is going to end up. I don't want to say it because I don't want to spoil it to anyone that might be listening.
Because I haven't watched it, and I'm considering watching it.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's very profanity heavy, like very profanity heavy.
It's Netflix. Yeah.
Yeah, but no, there's Netflix profanity heavy, and then there's like this profanity heavy.
You know what? There are certain series that you think that like, oh, Netflix picked this up. Was that show You? The one with the stalker?
Yes,
okay,
yes.
So that show, you could tell that was basically written to be a CW series.
Yes. Oh, okay.
Okay.
No.
Yeah.
Go on.
But the thing is that it got written as a CW series, and you could tell that it didn't get picked up because because the subject matter wouldn't be fit on normal broadcast television.
Okay.
So when you're watching it, if you guys don't see, Brian is like pointing at me like basically like an eager little children, like it's there, it's right there, it's right there. So right now, as I'm saying, when you're watching you could tell it's a CW-ish series, but then you could tell they rewritten it too, added more scenes to make it a Netflix series because there's nudity and there's profanity in it added into it.
So my heart's pounding because it's like, Rene, you're hitting the nail like right where it should be, because it's always funny that people make fun of Netflix always picking up any show just to make it, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So Netflix has so many original series, and everyone, even Rick and Morty, made fun of it.
Yeah.
Where they were like, oh yeah, we'll pick up your show, Morty, and then Morty just walks out of the whole thing because he didn't feel inspired to do it anymore.
Yeah.
Like, that thing has always been on there, and even their own shows go meta. Okay, interesting fact. Not a part of this whole conversation at all, but I pulled it out because it is interesting fact. Netflix leads the nominations.
Oh,
160 different nominations.
that makes sense actually.
Okay, so 160 nominations. How far behind? Did you see the list or no?
No.
Okay, so you didn't see the numbers.
No, I didn't see the numbers.
Okay, good. You didn't. And it was on the actual outline, so you didn't even read the whole thing.
Not the whole thing.
But I will excuse you for that because you know what? This will make it interesting. How far behind is second place? And who leads it? And who's second? I mean.
Oh, in the like most nominated shows for a network.
Yes.
From
So
the
most
network?
nominations.
I want to say. So I have to name the network.
Yes. So name the network and then how many nominations they have. So Netflix leads 160.
Yeah.
What's second?
Oh God, I'm trying to think. Okay, I want to say ABC.
Okay.
I like how you laughed. That gives me so much confidence, Brian. Okay, I'll still stick with ABC. ABC, and I want to say they may have like 60 nominations.
Oh, HBO with 107.
HBO, fuck, I forgot about premium channels.
HBO with 107.
Networks.
That is a 53 difference.
Wow.
What's third place?
Ooh, Showtime.
NBC.
Dang it.
By how many?
100.
47.
Really?
Yes. So now we're talking
significantly.
So we're talking about a 53 difference between first and second.
Yeah.
And then second to third is 353, 56, 50. No. 60.
Yeah.
60. Okay, I was like, why can't I not do math? It's a 60 difference, right?
Wow. Yeah.
Almost 100 and no, not almost 113.
Yeah. Less
between
than
first to
third.
the third. Where's fourth? I'll tell you this: third, fourth, and fifth are all close together.
Okay.
So third is fourth, NBC at 47,
and then fourth would be ABC.
ABC.
Okay.
With 36.
Okay.
And then who's fifth?
That would have to be Fox.
FX.
FX
with 30. That counts. It still counts because it's technically Fox.
It's still technically
Fox, right? Right? I hope so.
It's
like a weird subcategory.
It is. Yeah, that's
because it was bought by Disney, so it's under the same category. Okay. But that goes to show that Netflix, the meme streaming service of early 2010, is now one of the biggest contenders when it comes to Emmy nominations.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
And that's big.
Yeah,
big.
And that's Netflix for after they had to drop Marvel shows as well too.
Yeah, and they're still making
good shows. That's the thing. Well, the thing is that Netflix picks up. So how many of those shows are actually good shows on Netflix?
Enough to earn 160.
I guess so, but the thing is though is that there's also those like weird shows that they've been putting out, like these teeny bopper shows that are kind of okay.
I mean, these
teeny bopper movies, if anything, as well too.
It's if you throw enough things at the target, you're bound to hit the middle.
I guess so.
So that's Netflix in a nutshell right there. You know, it's just surprising because Netflix is the leading one. HBO technically isn't a streaming service. It started out as like a premium channel, which is fine. I mean, that's understandable.
But now it's classified as a streaming service with HBO Max.
That's where it wanted to go. You know. But Hulu's not on there. Disney Plus isn't on there. They're fairly new to the game, and I think
Hulu, the only show that Hulu has that's nominated is The Handmaid's Tales, and that's about it.
But I mean, each one, because even Amazon Prime has their big hitter, The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel.
Yeah,
that's a fantastic show. Even though I do not like the, I think she might be the director. She's the same one that did Gilmore Girls. I like her.
That's
again
a good
because
show, Marvelous.
I'm gonna get called out for this because they did the same thing with Jon Favreau that I hate him, but then it just went back to me being jealous.
All right.
The writer for Mrs. Mabel, Miss I can't remember.
Marvelous Mrs. Mabel.
Is it Mabel?
Let's say yes.
Okay. I just don't like how she portrays. Is it a she or he?
She.
You sure?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Their characters speak without breathing.
Yeah.
That's my issue with it.
Oh,
but
I see what you mean. Okay.
We kind of went off the line. Interesting fact, though. Interesting fact. But going back to the whole Mandalorian thing.
Oh.
That's the reason why we're here.
Yeah.
Mandalorian pretty much had 15 different nominations, but the big one that kind of hit it was the drama series, and that's where people were kind of having a big issue with it. Funny enough, why are they having issues with the Mandalorian and not Watchmen, who has 26? Watchmen got nominated for some big ones. Limited series, which I think is a new category that was more recent.
Yeah, because they know that shows won't reoccur.
No, it's like, oh, it's only getting a 2-season run, which The Walking Dead is now doing with like their oversaturated amount of shows.
Oh my gosh.
They're doing the Beyond Worlds.
Oh, so is that going to replace Watchmen or like?
No, The Walking Dead.
Oh, I mean The Walking Dead. I mean
no, because The Walking Dead is still going. Then they have Fear the Walking Dead, and then they have The Walking. Yes.
Oh my gosh.
I know. I know that same face I've had since season 3.
I'm sorry, but I'm like done with Walking Dead because.
How far did you make it?
I got up to maybe like after the attack on the the governor came back with his eye patch and he attacked the prison, and then they separated after that.
Season 4 or season 3?
I think that's season 4.
So you're around where I was.
Yeah, I stopped at season 4. I came back because Negan was coming. That was the next thing, was that everyone was saying that like, oh, season 4, that means Negan's gonna be hinted. No, it didn't happen until like what, season 5,
something like that.
End of season 5.
Look, I've given The Walking Dead enough of a read on the comic books to understand what's going on, and I feel like the Walking Dead fan base will get really triggered if you pretty much insult the show. But here's my problem with the show: it became gore fest. How can we kill these people in the most goriest and bloody way possible
on television?
I can't do it. I mean, like, whatever. I did like Glenn's death. I think Glenn's was phenomenal.
Glenn's death was exactly how it should have been, how it is in the comic book, which is great. Yeah. But the thing is that what gave me the problem of why I don't care for The Walking Dead was that after season 3, they they came together, and then something happened, then they spread apart. Then they come back together, then something happens, and they spread apart again. Like,
it's the same pattern of just there was no suspense because you already knew what was going on.
Yeah.
But you have those 2 shows. I think there might be a third one. I'm not so sure. But then the limited run, which is kind of what Watchmen is doing, because The Walking Dead Worlds Beyond is only 2 seasons.
Okay.
So The Watchmen is at season 2.
They haven't done season 2 yet. I think it might be
announced. Or it was announced.
It wasn't announced yet, but I know that
I thought it was.
No, they didn't announce it. It's still like they said that. I remember when after season 1 officially ended, they're like, we could do another season, but we haven't. It hasn't been discussed yet.
I think it was almost a month ago that I said I was reading the comic book.
Yeah,
I gotten halfway through it. It's pretty damn good.
Yeah. Oh, and yeah, you said like how it's relevant towards now. Yeah,
it's relevant towards what's going on. You told me that, and I read it, and I'm like, yeah, it's pretty relevant to what's going on now. So it got me interested enough to pay attention to the series now, because I kind of disregarded it. And I thought that the movie, when it came out, was just kind of everyone hyping it up for no reason. But now I'm really interested. So maybe in a future episode I can probably revisit it.
Yeah,
it could be a good 10-minute video for the YouTube channel.
Yeah, we could do that. Yeah.
So that would be pretty good. But The Watchmen leads with 26 nominations. This includes Best Limited Series, Best Actor, Jeremy Irons.
Jeremy Irons was so good in that series. Yes.
I was like trying to think. I'm like, where have I heard about Jeremy Irons? Mufasa, or not Mufasa? Scar.
He was also Alfred in Batman vs Superman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm like, damn. Like,
he was also in Die Hard 3.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, what the heck? Like that name sounded familiar.
Yeah.
And then Best Actress, Regina King.
She was also great in that series as well, too.
I didn't know who she was. I had to look her up.
Oh, yeah?
I only really know her from Big Bang Theory. Okay. She played the dean and the HR representative.
Yes.
Yes.
And then she's also, if you don't know, she played Craig's little sister in Friday.
Okay.
Yeah, and then she was also played the she played the wife of Eddie Murphy in Daddy Daycare.
So she's been there. She's
been around.
So now that she's been
since
around.
the 90s. Yeah, I mean she was really big, not big, but she was everywhere in the 90s where there was any black movie, she would be in it and stuff. And she was in She was in Boys in the Hood. She was she's been in everywhere. She's been around for a while. And when I saw that she was casted and she played it, the character that she did was amazing. She was like one of the main characters, like one of the main like vigilantes that you follow.
Yeah.
She was amazing.
It's good to always see actor or actress not really having like relevant major parts become really successful playing something like that. The one person that comes to mind is Rami Malek.
Oh yeah.
Because I only knew him from the Need for Speed movie. That's how I first knew about him. The first Need for or the one Need for Speed movie that came out. And then I watched Mr. Robot and I fell in love with him. Like I was just like, this man is like phenomenal.
So he's always had a run of TV shows. He would appear in sitcoms.
He was in Gilmore Girls.
He was in Gilmore Girls. He was also in Night in the Museum. He played the Pharaoh.
Yes, but see, those minor parts never amounted to anything big until he came out with Mr. Robot, which then got him the parts like
Bohemian Rhapsody,
which won him Best Actor.
Yeah.
So it's like I love it. So the fact that you see these people here putting on some great parts, not to say that Regina King didn't do anything phenomenal, in her career.
Oh yeah.
This is simply saying that from what we know her of, I only know her from The Big Bang Theory, and you've known her from other movies and other TV shows.
Yeah, but she never played a big character or a main character in those roles.
Fantastic to see. So this is really good. This is really good. But the reason I bring this up is because what's the difference between a comic book adaptation of The Watchmen receiving 26 nominations and almost no hate for it, but then The Mandalorian getting 15 nominations, being in the best drama series, and then getting negative reactions towards it?
I think because of the name Star Wars.
The franchise, right?
Yes.
Okay. That's the issue that I have a problem with. Because, and I mean, this isn't just like, this is public outright. This is public outcry. So it's not going to affect anything. Like, who cares? If the public gets mad over the fact that Star Wars is getting nominated for this sort of stuff, okay, whatever. What's it going to change?
Yeah.
But it does raise the question of, are people being frustrated over this sorts of stuff just because of the name? And is it justified to get mad at it?
I don't think so, because what is it? Comic book, nerd culture, any sort of thing, movie, TV shows has been so in the norm now in the past 5 years that it's when we see a comic book movie now coming out, we still get excited, but it's the normal thing now. It's become, everyone knows who Thor is. If you said like, who's like, do you know who Thor is? Like 15 years ago, people would be like, what does he do? Is that like isn't that like a
Spider-Man? Yeah, isn't that nerdy dude that keeps getting beaten up? That is like, does he shoot webs out of his own butt?
Or ask someone who let's see a more obscured character, Daredevil. 15 years ago, if you asked someone about Daredevil,
does he get on a motorcycle and jump over buses? Yeah. But it's more relevant.
It's more relevant now. People know who these characters are because of how big it became, and now it's so into pop culture now. It's just, I don't know. It's like, but we shouldn't get an outrage because we seen The Mandalorian. Everyone knows about The Mandalorian and stuff like that, and how great of a show it was.
But are you saying that it deserves the nominations because of its relevancy, or do you think that the nominations are well earned?
No,
because keep in mind, 2019 Oscars had the Black Panther be nominated for Best Picture. Personally, I don't think it deserved to be anywhere near that nomination spot. I think it could have gotten anywhere else. That's fine by me. If you want to dump the Black Panther into something like Best Costume or something like that, sure. Because it did a really good job, showcasing what the Black Panther would have looked like. Even Killmonger, his look was fantastic.
His makeup
fantastic.
Was great,
You can put the Black Panther anywhere else, but it felt, to me at least, and this isn't to say anything offensive or anything, it felt like it was pandering to an audience.
No, and the way you're saying it, I mean, it's true, because Hollywood's known for the past couple of years, to pander to audience.
The Oscars specifically. Yes. The Oscars specifically have always had this controversy for years, ever since I could remember going back and paying attention to the Oscars. Always had that issue.
Yes.
So
to say that, Black Panther was to pander to the audience for the Oscars, that's completely, I agree with that. Now, because like you said before, it didn't necessarily need to be nominated for Best Picture, because honestly, if you look back at it, the story is not a perfect story, Black Panther, but it's still a good movie though. It's still a great Marvel movie. Like, that's the thing. That's like one of Marvel's, better movies that they came out with recently. It's been really good. But the thing is that if you look back at it, you like really look at the movie, look how it was. The CGI at the end fight scene was really bad. You know,
the fight sequence on the edge of the waterfall, didn't look that good.
Like it was cool, but at the same time, that's the thing. Is like it could have been done better. But the costumes were great. Let's say that the costumes are great. The way that the characters were written was really good. Because it got me involved with not just Black Panther, but also all the other characters on top of that too. You fell for those other characters, you know, his bodyguard, his sister, Forrest Whitaker's character and stuff like that. Even the villain, you felt for the villain as well too.
Yeah. I mean, it just didn't feel like it belonged though. Because correct me if I'm wrong. I think the Black Panther was the only Marvel comic book-ish movie in any major category.
Yeah.
Right? Because I'm trying to think of the 2019 nominees.
Other than, I think the year before, didn't Suicide Squad won for best costume or makeup?
In 2019 is what I'm saying.
Oh, 2019. Oh, yeah.
That was the big one because keep in mind, Suicide Squad got the nomination, but the hatred it got was that it wasn't a good movie.
Yeah.
But then people were arguing, well, being a good movie doesn't necessarily mean that the costumes weren't good.
Yeah.
You're taking one aspect of the movie. Black Panther, I think, had more controversy because it felt like it was pandering to the audiences that were going to watch the Oscars due to the current situation. And so that's where it became a problem because you can't defend it being in that category when we, you know, even talking about it now, can't defend it for being on there.
Yeah.
You said it yourself. You gave it some details.
Yeah.
It just didn't fit with every other movie that was out there.
Yeah.
Let me see. The best picture, it was with Black Klansman, Bohemian Rhapsody. I think Bohemian Rhapsody was the one that won it.
Well,
it might have been that one.
Bohemian Rhapsody won Best Actor, didn't it?
It did, but then Best Picture.
Oh, who won Best Picture?
Here's the list: Black Panther, Black Klansman, Bohemian Rhapsody, The Favorite, Green Book, Roma, A Star Is Born, and Vice.
Okay, so
I'd have to look it up, but
I'll look it up right now.
So nothing in lead actor, nothing in lead actress, supporting actor, nothing, supporting actress, nothing. Director, nothing. Animated feature, Incredibles 2, but you know Disney's always on there. Animated short, same thing. There's something Disney related in there. Adapted screenplay, nope.
Oh, it was Green Book.
Green Book won it. Okay.
Green Book won.
Original screenplay, nothing. Cinematography, nothing. So any major category, there was no other comic book related movie on there.
Yeah.
So it did feel like pandering.
It did feel like it because the category of other movies that were on there, I've seen like maybe 50% of those movies, and those ones possibly deserve to win. Like Bohemian Rhapsody was really good.
Bohemian Rhapsody was fantastic.
Black Klansman was really good.
Yeah.
I love that movie. That's a good movie.
I haven't seen it, so I've heard really great things about that one.
Watch it, yes, because the actor, the main actor, he's gonna be in. He's in the movie Tenet. So if you want to see how good of an actor he is, watch Black Klansman.
Another director I hate.
But you love the movies, though. What? Okay, wait, hold on, pause. So, okay.
No, we're getting into this.
No, I just want to know. Okay, did you like Interstellar?
I haven't seen that one yet. I think it's just because it hasn't been. It's on Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
So it's there.
It's
but
good.
Like,
It's a good
who
space
turns on
movie.
Amazon Prime?
I do, for the boys.
Okay, see, and that's another show. But I'll go on Netflix. I'll go on Hulu.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Those other ones are like there. And I pay for Amazon Prime.
And you don't even use it?
I don't even use it.
Oh my God.
I use it to like get my stuff shipped.
I have the same problem right now with Disney Plus. I'm paying for it. I haven't used it in like a month.
Yeah, because there's nothing on there besides The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
We've talked about this in the Star Wars episode.
But there's like other movies that I
okay,
like
so
Sandlot and Heavyweights.
So name what's the director's name? I can't for the life.
Christopher Nolan?
Christopher Nolan.
Okay, so did you like Inception? No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, okay.
No, I didn't. Yes, but no. Yes, but
you
no.
You want to say no.
No,
but
you want me to tell you why?
Why?
We're going to get into this now, okay? What's the time on the podcast
42 minutes right now.
42 minutes?
Yeah,
good, because we've got to get to the Martin Scorsese portion of the episode. Okay, so I'll give you my quick little rant about what my problem is with Christopher Nolan, okay? Christopher Nolan is fantastic. I think I think he understands what it is to make a movie, what makes you think. Like, even the Dark Knight movies, you're there going like, oh, this is a Batman movie, right? Mm-hmm. But it's not a Batman movie.
No.
It's
like
a movie.
Crime thriller.
It's a crime thriller. It's a crime thriller featuring Batman. So, yes, I can understand what Nolan does because he makes you think in every movie. My problem with Inception was this. I remember watching Inception with my dad.
Okay.
He rented it, and he said, yes, I heard this movie was really good. Yeah. Here's the thing. My dad came from Guatemala, okay? So he came here at an early age. Mm-hmm. And surprisingly enough, he was the reason why I am the nerd I am today.
Okay.
He didn't show it.
Mm-hmm.
He just was, because he was a Trekkie. That dude knew his original trilogy, and he knew his Next Generation stuff.
Yeah.
So he pretty much brought me into this kind of whole nerdy stuff, okay? From like, and it's from Guatemala. Keep in mind, where he grew up, this sort of stuff wasn't accessible to him, but he still did it.
Yeah.
So the fact that he came home with Inception was like, okay, sure, why not? I'll give it a watch, Dad. You said it was a good movie. Let's see what it is. I didn't put much thought into it. When the movie finished, my dad stopped it, and he said, I liked it. And then I looked at him and said, Dad, did you even know how this movie ended? He's like, yeah, they're stuck. And I said, no. There's nothing to go with. There's nothing to say that that's the thing.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, but the coin or the little top was moving. But Dad, we don't know because it never fell over.
No.
It just...
It
did the thing.
It did like a little, like the slightest little stumble.
I went on a 30-minute rant where my dad just sat in the couch and listened to me. And I'm like, this was the stupidest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Visually fantastic. The music was phenomenal.
Okay.
Everything about it was great. Even what's his stupid face's name? The guy, he was in 500 Days of Summer.
Oh, Joseph Gordon-Levitt?
I freaking hate that guy.
What?
Because he's great.
Yeah.
Look, I feel like people
Why
are
do
going to
you
know
hate-
me as like,
yeah.
why do you hate? Do you just hate everything?
You
No,
just
I
hate
don't.
universally
One,
liked-
he's my girlfriend's crush.
Ah,
Okay.
I see, okay.
Two, I get to make fun of him just for that reason.
Yeah.
But he was so great in it, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Who else was in there?
Tom Hardy.
Tom Hardy and
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Thank you, Leonardo DiCaprio. I was
Ellen
going to say Christian
Page.
Bale, but it's
Christian Bale.
Leonardo,
Just in the background.
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah.
They were all really great, but I just don't like the fact that the movie ended in a way that was like, it's choose your own adventure.
So ambiguous. You mean?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, and I feel like he did that also with The Dark Knight, because did Batman die or did he not?
Yeah.
Oh, but he did, because he died
Yeah.
in the explosion. But are you sure?
Yeah.
Because it didn't allude to the fact that he died.
Yeah.
It alluded to it, but it never was clear.
Never was confirmed nor denied.
So when I look at Christopher Nolan and I see a movie by Christopher Nolan, he is like my nemesis. I want to go into that movie and go like, all right, Nolan, make me think about this.
You might not like Interstellar then.
I've heard about how Interstellar ends.
Okay.
So, because I like space stuff. So
Yeah.
I will go in there and with an open mind watch it. How about this? I'll watch it this week.
Oh, okay. The next week we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
That'll be a
then-
little segment.
And then I'll probably start throwing, just make sure everything's cushioned up in this room
Yeah,
so I don't start throwing anything.
I gotta rewatch Interstellar then for sure.
All
I'll
right.
do it. Yeah.
I'll watch it. I'll watch it this week.
Do you know what? Like, I'm sorry, but like, I liked Interstellar, and then I also liked the Martian with Matt Damon. Have you seen that one?
Yes.
That's a great movie.
Yeah, but
I
that
like
was directed by Ridley Scott.
Yeah, no, don't get me wrong. But
Yeah.
the thing was, is that like, you know,
He's my favorite director.
Those
He's
came
one of my
out,
favorite directors.
Those came out so close together. That's why.
But Interstellar was, because the thing was, Interstellar was considered to be better or more top tier because Nolan's name was attached to it,
Oh, yeah.
and because of the process that it went through to try to get a lot of things scientifically correct.
Yeah.
Whereas The Martian was already based off writing that was already scientifically
yeah.
researched, right? And so it was probably easier for Ridley Scott to adapt that into a
Yeah.
screenplay, whereas Nolan didn't have anything to adapt into a
Yeah, he made
screenplay,
his own thing.
and it made his own thing.
Yeah.
So that's probably why Interstellar was probably considered higher up there. I'll give it a watch this week, and then
Okay.
I'll probably come in and it'll be the Nolan rant,
The Nolan rant.
and why Jonathan Nolan's probably better because
What other-
Westworld is fantastic.
That's another thing. Did he put out anything else other than those movies?
He's done some stuff.
I'm trying to think. I know he did. Okay, so he did Dark Knight. He did, he did. So he did Inception. He did Interstellar. There's another one that I know he did, and it's not hitting me for some reason.
Give me a minute. Keep talking.
Yeah, but Tenet looks so good.
It does.
It looks
that's
really
I
good.
am
And then
interested
Robert
in
Pattinson
watching
is in it, and I really want to see how he is now with his acting.
He even looks like I want to punch him in the face.
Robert Pattinson?
No, Christopher Nolan.
Christopher Nolan.
Dunkirk.
Dunkirk.
Is the one, yeah.
And that's the one I haven't seen,
Okay.
but I hear it's good.
He did Man of Steel? He didn't direct that.
No, he was a part of it. He either produced or
Friend of the show, Rebel. Another reason why I hate Man of Steel.
Oh man.
Can we get back on topic and
Yeah,
not talk
sorry.
about Nolan?
Okay, really sidetracked on Nolan right now.
It'll be the Nolan rant by next week.
Nolan rant, yes. Part 2 of the Nolan rant will be next week, guys.
Okay.
And then the week after, we'll talk about Dunkirk then.
Oh my God, man. Okay,
you and I haven't seen that one. So.
No,
we'll watch.
It'd be interesting if
Let's
nothing comes out this week.
Yeah.
Then we'll watch Interstellar, and then maybe we can watch Dunkirk, and we can have the Nolan rap.
Yeah, and then after Tenet comes out, we'll be like, okay.
Nolan, we need you to be on this podcast. It'll be like, no, you said you hate me. Nolan, I love you,
we should do a movie series like review and stuff sometime soon.
That'd be interesting for directors.
Yes.
Yeah, wouldn't be bad.
That actually sounds pretty. We'll choose. Ooh, maybe we just came onto something. Maybe we'll have the listeners choose a director to watch. A good director, guys, not just like like a random. I love your face right now. You're like,
because the first one that came to mind was The Room.
Oh, Tell Me Why So.
Tell Me Why So.
He only did that one movie.
Yeah, but still, I was like, Tell Me Why
Have you
So.
seen it?
Yes.
Okay, I was gonna say.
Everyone, if you have to.
If anything, we could. If someone did choose that, we could do both. What is it? To Tell Me Why So, The Room, and then The Disaster Artist.
I've seen both of them.
I've seen both of those.
I took Bishop to go watch The Disaster Artist because he was the one that made me watch. The other friend of the show, Bishop. Yeah. I took him to watch The Disaster Artist because he was the one that introduced me to The Room.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, why not? Let's go watch it. So we went all the way to Hollywood at the
Starlight?
The ArcLight?
ArcLight.
The ArcLight. Yeah, there you go. We want to watch it. Fantastic movie. Like, fantastic. But you can't recommend that movie unless they've seen The Room.
You have to watch The Room before you watch Disaster
See, because my girlfriend has never seen The Room. But I can't bring myself to recommend that movie to her.
I think I did, unfortunately, I made my girlfriend watch The Room. Because we saw a trailer for The Disaster Artist. And she goes, what the hell is this? And I'm like,
it's fantastic.
I was like, we have to watch The Room first. And then when Disaster Artist came out, we watched that and she liked it. She liked Disaster Artist more than The Room.
Well, yes, obviously, because The Room is not a movie.
Yeah, it's not a movie.
It's not a good movie.
It's not a good movie we should recommend.
I think what I could probably do for her is give her show her a video of the snippets of the best part of The Room.
Yeah.
So that way she knows.
Yeah, you know what? I think we didn't even watch The Room. I think what we did, we watched Nostalgic Critics review on The Room.
Okay, so that would be
that's the best video to watch.
That would probably be best.
You have to watch Nostalgic Critics review on The Room because he goes by it like step by step. You know? Yeah. Oh my God. Sorry, guys. We got about 51 minutes left. I mean, not 51
We're
minutes.
at 51 minutes.
51 minutes.
So before we move on to the Martin Scorsese portion of this, because I do want to talk about that. He did talk about this, I think, earlier this year.
I do remember his remark on superhero movies.
Which I'm going to say right now, not to spoil anything ahead of the conversation, but I kind of do agree with him, even though I don't agree with how it was said.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So, do you believe that the Mandalorian deserves to be in the best drama series category?
I think it does because it is one of the shows that impacted pulp culture right now, obviously, and I think the thing is too is that I think it does because all the after watching The Gallery, you see the hard work that everyone put into it. Try to make it a good show, try to make it also a fun show, but at the same time, truly telling a really good story.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. It's such a good story.
It's a good, what was it? So my girlfriend said that it feels like it's a kid's show, but it's not, not that heavy of a...
Surface level, yes.
Because it's got the Star Wars name. So any kid would be like, oh, Star Wars, and then watch it. But when you take a look at the deeper levels of it, there's more to it because think about the movies themselves. They don't deal with a lot of heavy topics. In order for you to find a heavy topic, you have to really dig deep into it. But when you look at The Mandalorian, it deals with some pretty heavy stuff. The effects of the war on different planets, savages going into town or into villages and destroying them and stuff like that. The use of weaponry on other people that aren't technologically developed. These directors understood the true passions and idea of Star Wars. And for me, that's why it deserves to be in the drama series. I don't disagree with you on the whole pop culture thing. Yeah. I think that the pop culture aspect of it is pretty good because it's bringing light to a lot of these things that you and I, grew up with, and now other people have the privilege to be a part of it. Yeah. But that's the bigger part about that. It does make you think, which brings me to the whole Martin Scorsese aspect of this. earlier. Was it earlier this year?
It was earlier this year or late last year.
It was around the Oscar nominations.
Yeah, so that was
last year.
Last year.
Yeah. And when Martin Scorsese pretty much said what he said, it blew up the entire internet and created this massive, hellstorm of.
And he's not the only one, too.
No.
James Cameron has said his remarks on Marvel movies.
They're all on the same page.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
But if you guys don't know what we're talking about, Martin Scorsese was pretty much praising for the artistry of the franchises.
Yeah.
So he said, and he was specifically referring to the Marvel movies because I think it was around that time that Black Panther was being nominated for this. Yeah. So it should have been that. I think it would have been around that time. But he was praising the artistry of it, but then he complains that it lacked most of the things that make a film a film.
Yeah.
So I'm going to read you the quote, okay?
Go for it.
Cinema was about revelation, aesthetic, emotional, and spiritual revelation. It was about characters, the complexity of people, and their contradictory and sometimes paradoxical natures. The way they can hurt one another and love one another and suddenly come face to face with themselves. So this is pretty much an excerpt of what he was trying to say about film. He says that Marvel movies don't have this portion of it. Like, they don't have these aspects that make them a film and reasons as to why they shouldn't even be considered to be films. In his eyes, they're just theme park attractions in the categories of movies. I mean, what do you think about this when you heard about it?
Technically, he's not wrong.
Comic
book
the
movies,
controversy begins.
Yeah, the thing is, comic book movies originally, when they were made just to basically make money, not to just like impact the film industry or change the film industry early on. Like Spider-Man, when Sam Raimi made Spider-Man, it was just for the studio to make more money because they owned Spider-Man. Sony Pictures owned Spider-Man, and they wanted to make a Spider-Man movie and wanted to make money because they bought this property and stuff like that. But the thing is, though, is that comic book movies over the years have impact, the modern movies now, because Marvel created a thing that us comic book fans have been wanting for so long, is a shared universe. That's
shared visual universe.
Shared visual universe, yes, was to have all these characters come in, but then have it to where it's like, oh no, like these same characters exist within this movie as well too. And I think that's what certain directors are kind of like, well, that's not really a real movie, because like I said, like Martin Scorsese said, he sees it as basically a
theme park.
And it's true. We go in every summer expecting a big comic book movie to have fun watching it. There's no depth.
They're blockbusters.
Yeah, they're blockbusters. Yeah. And for certain movies to go in the category is, it's weird at first, but the thing is that as long as it's the movie that it deserves to be in the category, like if you watched, honestly, a Marvel movie or a Star Wars movie, and you're like, whoa, and you see that they stepped it up a notch visually, or they stepped it up a notch in writing and stuff like that. Like The Mandalorian. Honestly, The Mandalorian is a different way, a different story in the Star Wars universe that they told, at least, made it like a Western, made it kind of like very self-contained and stuff like that. It doesn't really evolve all these main Star Wars characters. It's its own characters.
It's adapting the resources of the Star Wars franchise, but it's making its own original stories.
Yeah, that's another thing. So if, Marvel did that as well too, that would be great. That'd be different,
Let me read you another quote, because I only heard about the first excerpt. Pretty much a lot of the articles around that time were focusing on that excerpt. This is all picked up from The Guardian. Okay, so this is an article from The Guardian. And I read this quote, and it made me think, and this is where I kind of understood
what he meant.
Yeah. And this is why I agree with him. Okay. Many of the elements that define cinema as I know it are let me restart. Many of the elements that define cinema as I know it are there in Marvel Pictures. What's not there is revelation, mystery, or genuine emotional danger. They are sequels in name, but they are remakes in spirits. And everything in them is officially sanctioned because it can't really be any other way. That's the nature of modern film franchises. Market researched, audience tested, vetted, modified, re-vetted, and remodified until they're ready for consumption. Here's my take on it. He's not wrong, because this goes back to the point that you were saying about The Mandalorian. You literally took the words out of my mouth. The Mandalorian is using resources from the existing franchise to make its own original screenplay. A lot of these filmmakers don't have those tools. So when you look at things like Tenet, right? If we look at Christopher Nolan's Tenet or Inception or Interstellar, they're all original screenplays. Baby Driver, Edgar Wright. There's another one, right? Alien, Ridley Scott. Give me another one that's out there that's pretty good. The Godfather is another movie that's all like
Pacific Rim.
No, because Pacific Rim was being adapted from anime mechas and stuff like that.
Yeah, but it uses that, but it's not like directly from a specific one.
They're using resources.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So a lot of these other movies or films, they're not really using resources. You can say that, but the inspiration of them is like right there. So isn't that technically a resource? Difference between a resource and inspiration is that a resource is used to pretty much up and, help create whatever you're trying to do. So when we look at Pacific Rim, for example, I could easily say, but it's anime mechas. That's the inspiration through that whole thing, because Gundam, for example, Evangelion is pretty much the direct resource that it was trying to use. Because Evangelion is nerve syncing into the actual mecha to control these, Evas. Same thing with Pacific Rim. You're connecting your mind and dual syncing to create the mechas, right? So the resource is there, but it's using its own original idea on how to make these mechas move. Compared to something like Baby Driver. But the resources were the getaway movies of the old school, like the Bonnie Clyde kind of movies. That's how
but it doesn't really directly use those.
It's inspired.
Yeah.
So that's the difference in my eyes, is what I believe.
Okay. It just came to my head. John Wick.
John Wick, bingo. Another one. Inspiration from action movies and just literally being a movie about badass fighting sequences, right? It's inspired by that, but there's no actual direct resources being used and references of anything else, right?
That's true,
So I can understand what Scorsese is trying to say with these movies, is that Marvel movies pretty much have that safety net where they're using resources that have already existed. You're going to make a Spider-Man movie, you have tons and decades worth of resources to use and pull out to make your movies. Avengers, same thing. Mandalorian differs in a way that it didn't use existing resources. It pretty much just kind of used the name and then the universe to create that sort of stuff. So it's like its own sub category far away.
It basically created a story and then used the Star Wars skin on top of that.
Exactly. Yeah. So I think Scorsese was or is correct in thinking these sorts of things.
Well, the thing is that to listen to the quote, I think he's saying is that like Marvel movies are like, the first thing that people thinks about when they talk about like good movies and stuff like that. But it's just or like comic book movies in general are just overshadowed normal original stories, which that's not the case. I don't think that's true, because we just named off 5 different other original movies off the top of our heads, and I think original screenplays or original films still get their love regardless of how many comic book movies there are.
Comic book movies are made to become blockbusters. If a comic book movie doesn't sell what it's supposed to sell, it's considered a failure. So it's expected to be a blockbuster movie. My concern is that most people, and this is something I don't like when there's discussions about movies, if one of your favorite movies isn't something original, they look at you and be like, "Ugh, why? Oh yeah, I like things like Fight Club is based off a book." Trying to think of something that someone said that's like, "Oh yeah, well this is an original screenplay." But that attitude. Oh, you like your favorite movie is Winter Soldier? Pfft, okay, that's like okay, so you just don't even like original screenplays. No, that's not the case. That's not. It should not be the case. You're allowed to like any movie out there. You could see anything and consider that to be your favorite movie. For me, my top 3 have been Alien, Kingsman, and Baby Driver, all for separate reasons. It used to be Scott Pilgrim, but that one got replaced by Baby Driver. So Baby Driver is an original screenplay. So is Alien, right? because they weren't really based off of anything, unless I might be mistaken.
No, so, not Alien.
Maybe some movie buff will correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
But those are original screenplays. Yeah. Kingsman was a comic book that it was based on,
yeah.
so technically it doesn't count. But when Baby Driver was announced, I was interested in pretty much the concept of it. I didn't know what the connection to the name was to the movie, and it got me to go watch it.
Yeah.
I don't say, "Oh, your favorite movie's not Baby Driver. You've never seen it. Pfft, what a nub." No, I recommend that movie to you. You know. But to go back on Scorsese's thing, I don't think that he's wrong.
No, he's not. I see what he means.
Yes, I just think that when it was talked about, the nerd fandom just went full torches and pitchforks on it.
Again, us nerds, like, we are so willing to jump the gun on a quote or a statement when someone, seems to, like, make a remark on our fandom or on our favorite little thing that we love. And we shouldn't, because the same thing happens with the Star Wars fandom, is that they make one little remark or if a person decides to change something, or if a person likes to just talk about how ridiculous the Star Wars franchise is, then they're all willing to kind of like they
just, because you're touching their precious baby.
But the thing is that it's just a criticism. It's just a statement. It's an opinion.
But Scorsese's thing wasn't a criticism.
Yeah,
I think it was more of an analysis of what most of these movies are.
Yeah, but the thing is,
it was said incorrectly.
That's the thing. But if you truly thought about it and talked about it like we just did right now, we know that, well, technically he's not wrong.
Yeah,
he's not wrong, though. How he worded it was kind of seemed like he was being a smartass about it.
Think about the nature of release. He said that once his movie came out as well. Yeah. So I think that there was a little bit of a sourness. It
was for the Irishman, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So there was my movie's not doing as well as it should. It's because of these blockbuster Marvel movies. Yeah. I think that's what most people got out of it.
That's the thing. And then, again, directors have been doing that recently. Same thing with Elizabeth Banks when she did Charlie's Angels. She said if her movie didn't do well, it was because men don't appreciate female strong films, action films, as she said. And again,
wrong.
That's not the case.
Not the case.
That's not the case. It's just that, when you looked at, if you looked at her trailer for the film, there was no confidence that that was going to be a good film.
The Ghostbusters, the women-centered Ghostbusters movie as well, no interest in it as well.
No interest in it as well.
And it's not gender-related stuff.
I saw it, and I saw it. It made me laugh maybe 10 times in the film. But the thing is that, the story, though, it just wasn't great.
It's the thing is that most of these things that come out, the statements might not be wrong. I think that it is possible to be correct with those statements. Oh, well, the audiences don't care for women-centered action movies. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's some possible truth to that statement.
There's some people that don't care for that.
Exactly. There's some possible truth to it because, we see it, and we've talked about this. I think you and I did an episode on my podcast where we talked about, the different things regarding gender and mental issues and stuff like that, and, comic book and nerd culture. So there is some, truth to those statements, but it doesn't really define
the general
thing, and it doesn't help that you say it when something of yours comes out. Yeah, Scorsese, like we keep saying it, I think is correct. But when he said this when The Irishman was coming out, it just felt like it was a target. Yeah, it was like targeting something that was beating him money wise.
Could be at the end of the day, kind of true too, because he has a movie and then he gets the results of it, and it's not getting a lot of views and stuff like that. Of course he's gonna say something because it's a thing that you've worked on for so long and you hope people will see it. And I get it, but at the same time, you gotta remember how you're gonna say it and when you're gonna say it.
To wrap it up. Yeah. To wrap it up. Alongside Scorsese's comment pretty much depicting, the franchises stemming from these pop culture things, does it change anything about The Mandalorian being nominated for Best Drama?
No, because I still stand by my statement that it's a strong story, and that even if you took out the Star Wars aspects of it, then it's still technically a drama series as well too.
I feel when I look at the list for the Best Drama, let me see. I think did I give you the list earlier?
Yeah.
The ones that popped up for me was Handmaid's Tale. Oh, here's a list of the No, that's for That's not the right one. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. Quick nominees here. For Best Drama was Better Call Saul, The Crown, Handmaid's Tale, Killing Eve, and thanks for blocking the article, New York Times. Better Call Saul, The Crown, Handmaid's Tale, Killing Eve, and The Mandalorian, Ozark, Stranger Things, Succession. Yeah. So when I look at this list here, I would say that a good portion of them aren't technically original series because Better Call Saul is the adaptation sequel to Breaking Bad. The Handmaid's Tale was based off a book, even though I don't think it's anywhere near close. Like it's not like really off from the book. It's like using the book as an inspiration. Yeah. Mandalorian is pretty much just a Star Wars thing. I haven't seen The Crown. I haven't been paying attention to Killing Eve. Ozark, I've been hearing, is pretty good. Stranger Things is literally 80s nostalgia.
Yeah, it's just that's what it uses. It's just 80s nostalgia.
And so, like, I feel like The Mandalorian does deserve these sorts of nominations. If it wins any, great. I don't think it's going to win Best Drama. I don't think so either. But it's good to see it being nominated. Yeah. And if it does win Best Drama, sure. Like, why not? I don't see an issue with it.
No.
So it'd be interesting to probably visit this back when the awards are over with. By September.
By September. Okay.
September 30th.
Cool.
Probably revisit this and see where it kind of ends up. Okay. I feel like the Emmys end up being less controversial than the Oscars because the Oscars kind of feel like it feels like the Academy is getting paid off to put certain films up on Best Picture and Best categories and stuff like that. The Emmys, I really don't feel like they're as controversial because I'm looking at the list here, like Best Comedy. I don't feel like, there's a lot of controversial stuff here. Curb Your Enthusiasm, Dead to Me, The Good Place, Insecure. Best Limited Series, you have, Watchmen, Unorthodox, Unbelievable. Best Actor, Comedy, just like all these different people here I don't see an issue with it. Yeah. So I feel like there's less controversy, but I mean that's the consensus. We're both in agreement. The Mandalorian doesn't deserve the hate it does for getting those 15 nominations. No. We both agree that they both are well deserved. And for The Watchmen as well. If anything, why are people not getting mad for The Watchmen?
Again, I don't know why. I think because no one really knows when you say Watchmen. Like, not a lot of people know about The Watchmen.
But it's a comic book. It's the movie, like, I felt like the movie had better buzz than the comic book when it, only nerds that read comic books know about the book.
That's the thing.
And then when the movie came out, then they're like, oh, yeah, it's a comic book. Like, that's when people cared about it. So, what? Is it for different issues? I don't know. But it's interesting to kind of take a look at it. But, I mean, that's our thoughts on this.
Yeah.
All right. Do you want to close? Or I'm closing this out, right? Okay. So before we close this out, again, follow us on YouTube if you're listening to this on Podbean or Spotify. Links will be in the description. And if you're on YouTube, feel free to jump on over to the Podbean and Spotify list to give us a follow on there as well. Please, if you guys are listening to this and have anything to say or you guys want to hear us talk about something, leave a comment. Let us know. Like we said, we've gotten some listeners who visit the store if they're around Whittier to let us know what they think about this sort of stuff. We're more than happy to take any sorts of topics and discuss it. We love to hear it as well. We want that feedback. We want to be better at this, and just let us know. More than anything, we're happy to see that and to see and hear that listeners are avidly listening to our program. So it's good. It's good motivation to keep us going. Again, we've been at this for 2 months. We're still babies at this, but consider this maybe within a year, maybe we'll be something. So we can look back on episode or issue. Dang it. Issue 9. Issue 9. So it'd be good. But yeah, so just give us a follow there. We have our socials down in the description below as well, or up on the description, depending where you're listening. So give us a follow on Twitter and Instagram as well. We don't really post much on there, but the more active people are on there, the more we'll post.
Yeah, Right now we're just posting like when our episodes go up and stuff like that. If anything, I'll try to post more stuff on the Instagram page. Trying to figure out how and what to post specifically.
It's difficult, especially for
a podcast.
For a podcast, but that's when we need more videos.
I know, yeah.
So I mean, just let us know, guys. Let us know, and encourage other people to listen to it too. If you guys like this podcast, if you guys like what we're doing, tell other people about it. We want more listeners. We would love to have more visitors and more feedback on this sort of stuff. I think that every time someone tells us something, we improve a little bit.
Yeah.
It helps us go. So, I mean, we make up topics
day of. We go. Yeah, day of. It shows how devoted we are. Just kidding.
But we've never given up.
We never stopped.
We never stopped.
Yeah,
we literally thought about this topic today. About should we actually be saying that it was about?
I mean, if you want to be honest with our audience, yeah, but
yeah, I mean, it was like about
the way we
4
talked
hours?
about it seemed like we've been thinking about discussing this for like a couple of days.
It just comes to us. It just like it'll pop up. So
maybe it shows how good we are.
No, wait, we don't. Let's not get egotistic here.
I'm just saying. It was a pretty good discussion.
All right, ready to close this out?
Let's go.
All right, here we go. Thank you, citizens, for listening to this issue of Keeping Up with the Nerds Variety Hour. This is Brian.
Renee.
Coming to you from 12920 Philadelphia Street, Whittier, California, recording at Undercity Comics. We thank you, citizens, once again, and hope to see you all next time.